Welcome to the 7:45 Primetime Newscast live on My Media Prime Television. I am Mituge Stanley La Ngalame. The news in full. In a bid to raise ethical entrepreneurial leaders, the Fortabe University is organizing the 5th edition of the Thela Entrepreneurial Leadership Forum in Douala. The 2 days event shall ensure that participants get proactive in their various communities when they return. Faith Tata sat through the opening ceremony of the 2 days workshop and now tells us more.
The 5th edition of the Thela Entrepreneurial Leadership Forum, organized by the Fortabe University, is currently on the move at the Douala campus with theme Soft Skills for Sustainable Entrepreneurial Leadership.
Every year we bring together young people so that we can put them at the center of discussions that affect their career and that affect their attitude, because we're looking at raising young people to become ethical entrepreneurial leaders in their communities. So the whole idea is to awaken the desire to become ethical leaders in their communities.
Participants attending this forum are expected to create impact in their various communities, outlining the smallest details and providing solutions therein, such as is expected of potential leaders.
Now, to this group of young people that are aspiring to become entrepreneurial leaders, my presentation was on their capacity to create sustainable development in their various communities, and that leaders are not just born, they become leaders. That entrepreneurs are more solution providers, and that if they wanted to succeed, they shouldn't just think about the famous or the good part, and that the current challenges that they are going through shouldn't define them. They should lift them up.
The 2-day workshop is also featuring presentations from various trainers, brainwork activities like quizzes and dance, all centered on key tenets for entrepreneurial leadership like team building and effective communication.
Internally displaced persons resident in the city of Bafoussam and Chong in the west region of Cameroon have received humanitarian assistance from the state of Cameroon. Minister Paul Atanganji of Territorial Administration chaired the handing over and reception ceremony that was yesterday. Details in the following report. Minister Paul Atanganji started his humanitarian assistance mission to displaced persons from the northwest and southwest regions resident in Bafoussam and Chang, west region of Cameroon. President Paul Biya's special envoy handed items such as mattresses, school bags, foodstuff and toiletries to the concerned persons while promising that more will still come. Some of the beneficiaries expressed gratitude to the government.
So I'll be very happy to receive this gift because at least for the meantime it will help me for the meantime I did for you.
In the presence of a mammoth crowd that turned out at the Bafoussam ceremonial ground, the Territorial Administration Minister revealed that the head of state has instructed landlords not to increase house rents because they want to take advantage of the internally displaced persons.
If the rent of your house, you took 10,000 francs, and you see somebody who is suffering, you ask him to pay 30,000. Is it good? It's not good. If the rent are 10,000 francs, and you see somebody who is suffering, you say, no, my brother, come, not even pay the rent again before you suffer. So.
He also promised that the government is doing everything possible for things to return to normalcy in the troubled Anglophone regions.
President Paul Biya has given instructions to the Prime Minister of Government, and the Prime Minister has held a lot of meetings so that things should come back to normalcy. And we are confident in the victory of good over evil, and we know that all those people preaching evil, they will face their doom, and they have to respond in life because there's divine justice. And the evil you do will always live after you. So it's very clear that the people have accepted, and they have thanked President Paul Biya for this wonderful gesture. And I think it's important for them to remain very, very optimistic.
Minister Paul Atanganji, who was accompanied by West Governor Awa Fonkam Augustine, will travel to Fumbot on August 28 for the same humanitarian assistance mission. The governor of the Southwest region, Bernard Okalia-Bilai, has held a crisis meeting to evaluate the degree of damages caused by the shipwreck that occurred on the eve of August 25th in Kiete, Bakassi. Student journalist on internship Akefa Vanessa sat through that crisis meeting and now tells us more from Limbe.
Regional Delegate of Transport, Rulimga, on Tuesday, 23rd August 2019, held a meeting at Naval Base, GRA, with the Governor of Southwest Region, Bernard Okalia-Bilai, the Chief Executive Officer of Ashoka Company, James Kamara, plus military officials. The meeting was aimed to carry out an assessment of the capsized ship that left Nigeria on Friday, 19 August 2019 to Cameroon. This ship, upon arrival at Bakassi, Cameroon, witnessed a tragic accident with a total of 132 persons on board, and 17 of them were reported dead.
It's a Cameroon-flagged vessel, but it was coming from Nigeria. And if you just got from the meeting we had with the governor of the Southwest region, you will notice that the manifest did not actually record all the passengers that were in the vessel. And now we are carrying out casualty investigation. And at the end of the investigation, we'll have the actual number of passengers which were in the vessel. That's when we can attest if it was overloaded or not.
The victims were seen in the early hours of 3 a.m. on Saturday at Bakassi, Cameroon. Investigations are currently going on to ascertain the level of damages.
As for now, we have 90 members, passengers who were at the manifest, and 11 crew members, and we also have 22 dockers which were there. But for now, that's the information that has reached us.
The Chief Executive Officer of Ashoka Company, James Kamara, reported that the ship has been in existence since 1976, fabricated in Norway.
And this vessel has been since 2012 when she was purchased, and she has been walking around. And she just finished her regular maintenance program in the dry dock at Shantana Valley in Douala in April. So she's practically up to date. The vessel was built in 1976.
The 43-year-old ship incident was something which no one can give a clear cause of the accident. In conclusion, the Chief Executive Officer of Ashoka Company, James Kamara, informed the general public that measures are being put in place to resolve the said incident.
Student journalist Akefa Vanessa ending the report from Limbe. There has been a timid resumption of activities in Kumba Meme division of the Southwest region as the population is still to come to terms with the lockdown imposed by the outlawed Ambazonia government. Bus stations and other offices are still to shut down due to the fear of possible attacks by the separatist fighters. Tamfu Sidwan Dimbi is in the following followed the situation out there in Meme division and now tells us more.
Activities have timidly resumed in Kumba, Cameroon after the announced lockdown by a faction of the Ambazonia interim government when the Secretary of Communication, Chris Anu, stated a no-mercy ghost town from the 26th of August 2019. This was greeted with fears and consternation as the population did not come to terms with the decision, stating that it will only lead to untold suffering.
The population at all, it is not beneficial to the population. It's just that people have already programmed their mind. Their mind has this stereotype. They just believe in what those guys at the diaspora are saying, and with the commanders on the ground here implementing what those guys are saying, it's making people to go afraid, and people are dying in silence. People are dying in silence very well. People are suffering in silence, but there's no way out. We just have to accept it and keep quiet. But
this day, business places have resumed activities, though with a low steam in areas like Fiango Kumba. Meanwhile, the Kumba main market area is busier due to the fact that Wednesday is the Kumba main market day. Some offices are still closed. Banks are also closed due to the calls by the self-proclaimed Secretary of Communication of Ambazonia. Many people are still to come to terms with the announced lockdown by the various factions of the Ambazonia pressure group, stating how the lockdown calls have been affecting their business activities.
So badly that you come a day, you make 2 weeks, 3 weeks without your money coming out. As you can see, I've just got this one like this. There's no customer. Everybody has run away. So please, I want the government should really do something. This crisis don't make them. With the buy market now, not feel safe. Yes, and the buy pawpaw, it rots in all. It ripe all. Buy orange, it rots in all. So this crisis don't over affect me. Yes.
Actually, it is really confusing. Seriously, because I don't know what to say. It has affected me a lot because they took us unaware. It happened so sudden. At least they could have given us a length of time, a period of time for us to prepare ourselves. It is not like we are fending for ourselves. You need money to keep food in the house. You need to prepare your things. They will not just get up all of a sudden and claim there is lockdown for 3 weeks. It's quite a lot. That's affected me. There is no money, there is no food. We are running head-scatter. We don't know what to do. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Bus stations are also shut down since movements out of the city have been stopped by the Ambazonia fighters along the Kumba-Buea road. Commercial bike riders on their part have also lamented seriously, stating that there are limited passengers in the city.
Nothing, all my run for Kumba all. Me government try to see the way they fit talk for inside this situation, solve the matter, me be peace. Me people they get peace for our country. At all, na first time, I believe that Alice she done so. So imagine this if you look am, see the way she done, you know say Alice they work not day. You know they no talk of the population, you know they again. Yeah, so make am now at least I just be the step, I just calculate wait till they go for what's the next stage what man to do for live for survivor.
Most inhabitants have also called on the warring factions to go to the dialogue table and to sort out a way forward to solve the current socio-political impasse.
You're watching the 7:45 primetime newscast live on My Media Prime Television. We're broadcasting from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. Parents in the Northwest region, alongside their children for the past days, have been relocating to other regions as separatists have announced tougher days ahead. Our Northwest correspondent, Charles Kibwa, went investigating and now tells us more in the following report.
Bamenda in the past days have witnessed many parents with their children from the Northwest region relocating to several towns because of the ongoing crisis rocking the region, with fear of a lockdown as announced by secessionist or separatist fighters in the days ahead.
Hope everything will be okay.
The traveling agencies had been overcrowded with people spending sleepless nights just to get traveling ticket. Others standing on the way out of Bamenda that exits to the West region. Those an opportunity as transporters have used to triple transport fares as the clientele keeps growing. Some transporters are charging up to 5,000 francs from Bamenda to reach Bafoussam. Bamenda, Douala 9,000 francs. Bamenda, Yaoundé 10,500 francs. The mass exodus of the population from the Northwest region is coming at a time some parents have added their voices to those of the Bishop of the Bamenda Provincial Episcopal Conference, calling for the resumption of schools in the English-speaking regions of the country. Any regret the population living, consequences are devastating to the education and economy of the region.
In Buea, some children of foreign soldiers who died while defending the territorial boundaries of Cameroon have received didactic materials from the 21st Military Battalion in Buea. The consignment of school materials comes few days to the 2019-2020 back to school. Kuma Honore Mbom tells us more in the following report.
It is a tradition at the beginning of every school year by the Minister of Defense to give support to children of fallen soldiers who lost their lives while serving the nation in the ongoing war in the North region and the two English-speaking regions between the Boko Haram and the separatist fighters respectively. It was the turn of the 10th Military Sector, headed by Colonel Ebolo Alain Marcel, to give didactic materials to children of soldiers killed in the ongoing war under the 10th Military Sector of the Southwest region. The handing over of didactic materials took place at the premises of the 10th Military Sector in the presence of the Deputy Mayor of Buea and the representative of the Divisional Officer of Buea, alongside parents and guardians of the beneficiaries.
It is the initiative of the military hierarchy that has decided to give a support to the families of soldiers fallen on the battlefield, because they have given their life for the peace of the nation. So we have to recognize this act and to support their families. We have about 50 families, but they didn't come all here because some are far away from Buea, like those which are in the Jan Division, Manu Division. They are very far, so they will come after.
Some of the beneficiaries say life hasn't been easy since the loss of their parents, but thank the hierarchy of the military for always standing by them every school reopening.
Since my father left me, I've been feeling very sorry and deeply for him. But still yet, I want to thank everybody for what they have been doing for me. Thank everybody, thank my family and everyone who has been supporting me during this time.
Je me sens très mal depuis que j'ai perdu mon père et ça m'affecte beaucoup. Et je ne sais plus quoi dire. Bien de recevoir ces fermetures scolaires.
To help me in many things because I wasn't sure if my mother could have the money to buy me school things.
The didactic materials comprised of school bags, pencils, pen, rulers, just to name but these few.
Let's stay in the City of Excellence, where some students will have successfully completed 6 weeks of effective holiday classes, where they were drilled on the new curriculum of the new academic year. Our Buea-based correspondent, Ikomi Christy Nuela Eposi, witnessed the closing ceremony of these 6 weeks holiday classes and now reports.
After over 6 weeks of intense holiday classes at the bilingual grammar school Moliko Buea, the students have finally rounded off. The holiday classes, which was organized by a cream of teachers from different institutions, sought to sharpen the knowledge of the students and also prepare them for the upcoming school year. Aimed at reactivating the minds of students who have been dormant for a long time, Sama Abang Mungwa is a teacher with the bilingual grammar school Moliko, who says the purpose of the holiday classes was to prepare the students for a smooth resumption of the academic year.
The purpose of this project was to reactivate students who had been dormant for a long time and to prepare them for a smooth resumption, hoping that there would be a resumption come September 2nd. So it was simply to activate children, students whose brains had been dormant due to the crisis.
Prizes in the form of didactic materials were handed to the meritorious students at the end of the long holiday classes. Some of them expressed sincere thanks to their teachers for impacting them with knowledge and bracing them up for the 2019-2020 school year.
Mind that I work hard to be among the first two in my class, so I did it. I feel very happy, very grateful. Before the proclamation of the result, I was like tense. Before they could read the results, I was tense. I could not believe. And when they come and I was like, is it me? Is it me? I was like, I'm not a person that actually calling the first in the class. I was very excited.
Still, according to Sama Abang, the offering of knowledge to the students is the duty of a teacher.
They were not paid for, and as the name of the association implies, it's volunteer. So the teachers know the value of volunteering and volunteerism. It's a virtue, and I was able to sell that philosophy to them, sell that vision to them, and surprisingly, quite a good number of them bought that vision.
While it is hoped that students all over the national territory are expected to commence the 2019-2020 academic year come September 2, many, as at the moment, especially in the northwest and southwest regions, still remain skeptical as to whether or not the academic year will commence successfully. Nonetheless, all hands are on deck, and so far so good. Everything has been put in place for the effective resumption of classes for the 2019-2020 school year.
Ikomi Christinuela Eposi, ending that report. From education, let's talk culture at this point in time. Hommage à DJ Arafat, les fans de l'artiste annoncent un hommage mérité à Douala. Charles Fils Elangue les a suivis et nous en dit plus dans ce reportage.
Août prochain, le monde entier s'apprête à rendre un dernier hommage à l'artiste ivoirien DJ Arafat. En Côte d'Ivoire, le lieu de son accident est devenu un lieu de recueillement pour ses fans qui affluent des 4 coins du monde. Au Cameroun, à Douala en particulier, les adeptes du Yorogan donnent déjà les couleurs. Ici, à Ndokoti, ce danseur de Zoropoto a choisi de mouiller son maillot au rythme de l'auteur de Jonathan. Plus loin, au carrefour d'Ikomessi, à Akwa, dans ce camp de Bentikiner, les choses semblent mieux organisées.
Bon, si nous sommes ici au plus, c'est pour parler par rapport au deuil de DJ Arafat. Demain, vendredi, nous avons beaucoup de choses à faire, auxquelles nous allons d'abord commencer par la caravane. La caravane va d'abord débuter à partir de 8h. On commence d'ici à village Romo, de Koti. On descend à Daïdo Sadi et on remonte. Bon, en fait, maintenant, la préparatif, c'est comment? Il y a les groupes d'orchestre qui seront là. Nous allons travailler tous ensemble. Il y a les tricots qu'on a organisés. Tout le monde serait là pour le concept. Et on rend hommage à notre artiste parce que au départ, ça avait commencé comme il a venu ici pour les concerts. Et on assistait à ses concerts. Parce que quand il venait, il arrivait à l'aéroport, nous, on partait le chercher. On venait avec lui, on partait, on faisait sa caravane. C'est un garçon qui vraiment, il était très cher. Et vraiment, nous, on lui porte en cœur.
À cet effet, des t-shirts et grandes affiches sur l'effigie du Yoruba attendent le jour J, une parade que seuls les fans de DJ Arafat peuvent décrire.
C'est là, c'est les têtes. Nous, on doit pleurer DJ Arafat jusqu'à la gare. On pleure, on est avec le père là. Un lion ne meurt pas. Regarde même à cette coiffure que tu entends là.
On l'aura compris, un hommage digne de ce nom sera fait en l'honneur de celui qui a continué à hisser le coupé décalé au-delà des cimes ivoiriennes. En attendant le show qui débutera ce vendredi 30 août à 8h au carrefour Komessi, nous avons eu droit à un avant-goût de cette parade à l'image de DJ Arafat, mort sur une de ses passions, la moto.
Ouais, joli magicien.
And may his soul rest in peace. Let's now take you out of Cameroon for some international news. A team of French police dubbed cyber gendarmes have destroyed a virus that infected more than 8,800 and better still 850,000 computer virus worldwide. This story and more on our international page with Lasha Kingsley.
A Cameroonian is now receiving treatment to wounds he sustained after he was reportedly hit with a staff Tuesday by the police in Mexico. The military police officers clashed with thousands of migrants from Cameroon, Togo, Ghana, Haiti, Guinea and Nigeria outside the immigration center in Tapachula, Mexico. They are demanding for free transit through Mexico to reach the United States. The protest is in its second week, and over 1,500 Cameroonians are amongst the migrants. A team of French police christened cyber gendarmes has destroyed a virus that infected more than 850,000 computers worldwide. French authorities say the network of infected computers, known as Botnet, was controlled from France and is believed to have made millions of euros from the fraud. After a tip-off, the French team located and dismantled the pirate server in the Paris region. Then they succeeded in disinfecting the computers around the world. France's C3N Digital Crime Fighting Center was alerted in the spring by antivirus company Avast to the possible existence of a private server that had apparently sent a virus called Ritadop to hundreds of thousands of Windows operating computers in over 100 countries, mainly in Central and South America. The virus was sent via an email offering easy money or erotic pictures and through infected USB drives officials explained. Hackers had then been able to use the virus to control the computers remotely without owners realizing, to create the cryptocurrency Monero, extort money through ransomware, and even steal data from hospitals in Israel as well as Israeli patients. The operators behind the botnet are thought to have made millions of euros since they set it up in 2016 and are still on the run. Elsewhere in the UK, the government has asked the Queen to suspend Parliament just days after MPs returned to work in September and only a few weeks before the Brexit deadline.
We're not going to wait until October the 31st before getting on with our plans to take this country forward. And to do that, we need new legislation. We've got to be bringing forward new and important bills, and that's why we are going to have a Queen's speech, and we're going to do it on October the 14th. And we've got to move ahead now with a new legislative programme.
Boris Johnson said a Queen's speech would take place after the suspension on 14 August 2019 to outline his very exciting agenda. But it means the time MPs have to pass laws to stop a non-deal Brexit on 31st of October would be cut. House of Commons Speaker John Bercow said it was a constitutional outrage. The governors of the 9 Brazilian states most affected by a record number of fires have urged President Jair Bolsonaro to accept foreign aid to fight the blazes. Mr. Bolsonaro had earlier refused a G7 offer of over $22 million following a pact with French President Emmanuel Macron. But following a meeting between the governors and Mr. Bolsonaro, the government shifted its position on the aid.
That foreign news roundup by Lasha Kingsley draws us to the close of tonight's newscast. Before taking leave of you, a recapitulation of our top stories. The government of Cameroon has handed basic necessities to the internally displaced persons resident in the west region of Cameroon. The population of the northwest and southwest regions have expressed mixed feelings on the imposed lockdown by separatist leaders. And out of Cameroon, we told you that 850,000 computer viruses have been destroyed by the French cyber gendarmes. The news came to you thanks to the wonderful production of Ewane Eli with the assistance of Lasha Kingsley. Stay tuned for part 2 of Prime Hour. That will be yours. Up next, I am Metuga Stanley La Ngalame, signing out from Douala, Cameroon. Good night.